everybody. Thanks so much for being here. It's 11 o'clock. We're gonna get this meeting started. First one of the year. Woo-hoo! So, yeah, Zach. Happy that you found us over here at Pin Mark 2. And yeah, let's get rolling here with a couple wins. Celebrations, wins. Who's got something to share?
Oh, come on.
Are you Hoosiers?
That's my largest closing this month.
Okay. Tell us about Fire, and how'd you get the business?
So he is a friend of my boyfriend. Like, his fiance works with my boyfriend.
Okay, so personal referral.
Referral, yeah.
Okay, and what's the purchase price?
$780.
$780.
And recovered it. He was working with a different agent, and I recovered it back to
Oh,
me.
nice.
All right. I like it. All right, two more, please.
I use going to the Peach Bowl.
I use going to the Peach Bowl. Who is physically going to the Peach Bowl? Anybody? Okay, all right, go Hoosiers.
Nice.
Very nice. I know Beth and John, yeah, the Rose Bowl.
It was amazing.
Cool. Very cool. Historic venue. All right, give me one more.
You got a place to stay, right?
One more win, one more celebration. Okay, Chick-fil-A for lunch. We'll take it. All right.
Doug's teaching the class.
Yeah, let's go. All right. Hey, happy birthday to everyone in January. Who's in the room? Nikki?
You.
Well,
Doug.
Duh.
Who else here? Anybody else in the room today? Cool. I'm an Aquarius. First stone garnet.
Yep.
I like long walks and stuff.
Okay, 2 minute in the truck. Jennifer, you got the floor here. Thanks so much for sponsoring lunch. Appreciate you.
Hi guys, good morning. Happy New Year. Thank you for having me. Everybody knows, I guess, that 2 Minute Truck is a moving company. We are full service. We have, we'll do packing, unpacking. We offer boxes and supplies, and we also have storage. And I think another thing we have now is 2 Men in a Junk Truck as well. So we do junk removal. And there's a couple of updates I wanted to share with you. I do have a few of these folders in the back if you want to pick it up. Inside, you'll find for our referrals, we do offer $75 off of junk removal. And then $50 gift card for anyone moving their final move. So what's really important is they need to let us know that they were referred by you guys though. So I'll need your name and email address. Sometimes they'll call in and they won't let me know and I can't give them those discounts. So just let them know that they need to tell us that they're a referral. And then there's also a coupon here for free boxes. So they can get a small, medium, and large box in there. And if you need more copies, I can always email it to you guys too. And the other thing is we are doing a campaign this spring. We do it every year. It's for Movers for Moms. We collect items for women and children affected by domestic violence. So if you guys are interested in holding a box at our office, we'll do collection in April and we deliver it in May. So does anybody have any questions about our services at all? Pretty easy, right? So, but anyway, I'm going to have all this stuff sitting in the back. I do have another meeting I have to get to, so I won't be able to stay for the rest of your meeting. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or call me. Right.
Okay, and you're doing a drawing, right? So let's pass this around. I'll throw mine in.
Everyone put a business card in here. So I do like to give away a free junk move at all my meetings that I go to. So whoever I pick out, I will send you an email with a gift certificate for a free junk move. So you can either keep it for yourself or give it to one of your clients. And the lucky winner is Steve Rupp.
He's got a lot of junk.
He's right there.
Yeah, thank you. We actually call him.
Not a lot of junk. I think I have my crew come out like every 6 months.
Oh, nice.
Awful. Order. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, Mark. Partner spotlight. Things up. I like it.
All right, hi, Mark Kuchek with Cross Country Mortgage. I've got two announcements. Number one, Xavier, if you check your message, please.
I don't know if I have slides. Do I have slides for you?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So our next event we're doing is winning with objections, January 20th at Eddie Merlot's. We already did this one round. phenomenal feedback. Xavier and Benita, I know attended this one. Xavier, you have,
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I got a lot of value from it. It was a good re-motivator too, in a time where I was feeling a little unmotivated.
yeah. That was, I heard that yesterday, by the way, and that was really cool for me to hear because, I mean, we put a lot of time and effort into our events. This material specifically is so freaking valuable. Like literally everybody should be there. It's plug and play. And Tucker agent feedback was I'll paraphrase it, but it was insanely easy to take the information and start using it the minute you walk out the door. Okay. Some of our stuff we teach, you've got to learn it. You've got to practice it. You've got to slowly implement it. This, you get to your car, bam, you're doing it. So love to see you guys there. And then next, Condo King, that's me.
Tiger King?
Yeah.
Now so well. I did not.
Tiger King.
What? That's a visual there.
Yeah.
So guys, condos, we do a lot of condos. We have a whole dedicated condo department that is so well versed with condo approvals. It's amazing. Okay. So you've got FHA loan approval, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac approval for conventional, right? Let's say none of that fits those boxes. We have our own portfolio product. It is a portfolio product. We make our own rules for condos. So any condo out there, I'm not going to say every condo can get approved. It still has to meet certain requirements, but I can tell you we've done some crazy things. And guys, I know Janice does a lot of condos. Roger, who's not here, in Saudi Arabia, is probably searching for a condo. But Janice knows a lot of these smaller Marion County associations have volunteer HOAs, and they have a real job. And they do this on the side. They don't know what they're doing half the time. They don't file the correct paperwork half the time. So it may go FHA or conventional. For well, you know, FHA, there's an approved list. So even though you see a condo not on that list, many times we can get it on the list. Okay, we do one-off approvals, and Janice has seen it probably more than once. Okay, because the condo does meet the requirement, the HOA simply didn't fill out the paperwork. So we get what's called one-off or spot approvals for that one unit for FHA. But again, if it doesn't fit the FHA guideline, we still have our portfolio products because we are a portfolio lender. Cross Country Capital is the investor. That's us. We're answering to ourselves on whether we're going to approve it or not. And it's very common sense underwriting. So if you have any questions, especially with condos, let me know. Thank you.
James everything would like chairs. There are some up front.
Yep,
If
they
you
have a
decide you don't
couple.
want to sit on the windowsill.
I think you're up.
Kim?
Oh, me?
That's you?
Yep.
Wow. All right. So now that it's a new year and we're talking about culture and giving back and everything that we stand for at Keller Williams, we wanted to remind you that on each one of your transactions, you can add a donation. There's 4 options of places that you can donate to. One is KW Cares or Carmel Cares. We take KW Cares and we send it to actually like international. And those are the ones when you see the videos of people that got helped after floods and fires in LA and all of that. That's money that we helped give to help those people. Once that rolls over, we give to Carmel Cares. That's where we get Red Day and all of those things that we do here locally. Then the next option is the Realtor Foundation. If you don't know about the Realtor Foundation, you can talk to Cam, you can talk to Val. But it's a local organization that helps out with homelessness in our own state. So you're not going somewhere else, you're helping people here. Then the next one is one that we are actually creating for in-office staff. This is something that it's similar to KW Next Gen, but you're gonna be giving, and it can be anything as small as $5, whatever you want. But this is gonna help people that are starting out in the industry, starting out new in our office, and you're gonna build them and help them succeed as a Keller Williams agent, as a real estate agent, by going to things like Fold, Mega Camp, Family Reunion, things that people just can't seem to make their way to when they start out. But you're gonna help them get to that next level and understand what it is to be a realtor and to do the things they need to do. Or you can go to KW Next Gen. This is a similar concept, but this doesn't go to our office. This goes to international. So you're giving to help the younger agents succeed, but it's not someone that sits next to you every day in this meeting. So if you have any questions about any of that, you can do it per transaction, or you can just go into command and set it up and have it taken out of every transaction.
And historically, we have been one of the top giving offices
To
as far as
that.
transactional giving.
To the Realtor Foundation.
And we are top for this year. We
Okay.
were top last year. They release it by quarter. And I want to be number one always. We're gonna be number one.
So it's
We are
super,
known as the
super
office of
easy,
gigs.
just comes out of your, growth commission, and, would definitely encourage you to pick an option here, or, pick your own, and, support a philanthropic endeavor.
And I'll, just for this one, I'm gonna be sending to Kim, like for those of you that have been considering going to family reunion or mega camp, I'm saying like, I historically go every time that I know how to do it on a budget. So like you can do it a lot cheaper than just all the different things. So I'm gonna be helping draw that up for them and have it next week for the meeting. But we're trying to make it say, hey, don't let money be the obstacle that keeps you from going to some of these major events that talk about what's going on in the industry, what's going on in our business, and helping you grow into the next year. So I just want to encourage you, if you are thinking about going to those, or if you even just have a thought, like, do come see me. We can talk more about it, and then talk about more how it can be something on the cheap. Like, for example, I bring snacks. I don't go out to eat every time. Saves you hundreds just from that alone. So.
And we can also help you save for that. We
Yeah.
can start an account where you take part of your money every time, and then you'll have a fund that will give back to you to get there, or we'll buy your ticket for you once you have the money saved up in that.
Awesome. Thank you. James?
Thank you. And I just want to say, what Tori said is very true, and it's a good thing that family reunion is in Atlanta this year, because 2 years ago it was in Vegas. And Tori, Mr. Budget, and I sat down at a blackjack table. There was no budget that was followed.
I came out with $100 more than where I started, so I felt there was
That's good.
actual profit from that trip.
I don't think that worked for all. So yeah, I've been here for 10 years now. I've never gotten Ruthie until now.
Really?
And it took me a long time to even understand what Ruthie was really all about. And I'm very honored to have won Ruthie, so I thank everyone for that. And as I give this to the next person that has truly earned it, as you run your business, there's a lot of things that happen, a lot of people that help you out, a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. It's always good to have someone that always has your back, that's looking out for you, looking out for things that you don't even think about, letting you know when you just screwed up, when you're getting ready to screw up, and how you're screwing up now. And I, for one, love it when someone can be honest and brutally honest. Sometimes it hurts my feelings, but at the end of the day, I'm always stronger for it. And the one person that has done that for me for years is Catherine Rutan.
Oh, nice.
And she is truly the rock of our team.
Yeah.
Smile while you're crying. I'm also gonna take a group picture now that most of you are done eating. Every time I try to take pictures at meetings, it's like this. So I'm gonna look at me. Oh, absolutely. He's gonna do it too, but you absolutely go for it.
You did.
Yes.
Okay, if I can have everybody's attention for about 3 more minutes. Does everybody have a pen? All right, in front of you right now is a 2026 agent survey. So I have been empowered with letting you guys tell us what you want for our business meeting. So what I need everybody to do right now is take out these surveys and fill them out. And let us know how often you want business meetings. Let us know what you want in those business meetings. And then I'm going to give you guys time to do it now. And we're going to pass it down to the end. I'm going to collect them. And we are going to tailor these meetings to what you guys want. Deal?
Deal.
All right, we'll give you a couple minutes to do it now.
And then you're taking a picture.
And then we're taking pictures.
Raise your hand if you don't have a survey.
Oh, there's several up here.
Anybody besides Chris need one? Does anybody need a pen?
The people in line, where do you want the answers to go to or the responses? I will.
Okay, weird things.
That's what it's about.
Okay.
Haven't filed the data anyway.
Is your, do you have a period between your first, okay.
Get one, Kristen?
Not yet. I can answer. I have the actual questions.
Okay.
Being a thoughtful survey taker.
I will not rush you.
Okay, if you're online, please look at the chat for the questions. And you'll send the result, your answers to Val's email. Super important that we get your feedback. Thanks.
Yeah, if you want one, you get one.
Good. Thank you though. I think we're all right. Maybe the food.
All right, well, we'll keep it moving. You guys can finish up if you're still writing, pass it down, or just make sure you get it to Val here at the front by the end of the meeting. Sounds good.
Okay. You can just stick those in the wagon over there.
Before you start, Val, do you want to introduce anybody?
I sure do. I didn't even tell her I was doing it. Sorry, Mary. So we've had several agents join us in the last couple weeks. You'll continue to see that growth roll out over the next couple weeks, which is exciting. But one of our newest agents is in the room, and so I wanted you guys to know who she is and that she's new, so you can welcome her the way we do. This is Mary. Mary Litson. Mary comes to us from Mayrite Property Group with Kyle Kellum, who will be housed right down between James and Wendy's offices. So feel free to pop in and say hello as they get settled into the new office space. All right, smile. I don't know. Yeah, you're gonna.
Are we in it?
Here, yeah. There we go.
Can I see the good spot?
If you can't see the camera can't see you. Thank you. Great, thanks.
All right.
I'm gonna take some of the food with me, so if you are looking for it and you want it later, it'll just be in the office.
I want a sandwich.
I'll bring it to you now.
Ladies power. All right, everybody. Super exciting topic we have today. It's kind of an annual tradition that we kick off our new year with the IAR form changes. Lucky for us, there wasn't a whole lot. I don't know, maybe you wanted to see more, but we're just gonna go through it pretty cut and dry. If you have questions, please ask. Let's hop into it. Okay, so really, of course, the purchase agreement is kind of the primary document that has the most changes, so let's advance. Next. Okay, so this is the first change of the purchase agreement, lines 122 to 128. Let's just go ahead and skip to the next one, please. And this is what it reads now. Possession of the property, including all existing means of access to the property, shall be delivered to the buyer at closing or in accordance with the time period agreed in. A pre-closing possession agreement, a post-closing possession agreement, or a lease property addendum. If the seller does not deliver possession by the date required, the seller shall pay the buyer X dollar amount, liquidate damages until possession is delivered to buyer, and buyer shall have all other legal and equitable remedies available against the seller. So the reason here is that prompts the use of other forms to address possession depending on the circumstance. So if you are on the buy side, traditionally, it is to the benefit of the buyer to get possession at closing. That means you do a final walkthrough, you go to closing, you get the keys, it's your house. Okay, so I would say that it would be the first choice if you are representing a buyer in that regard. So if it's not going to happen at closing, there are these options that now trigger into being part of the contract. So the first one would be a pre-closing possession agreement. That means the buyer gets the keys before they close. If you're the seller, that is traditionally not the option that you want to put your client in. So there would have to be some pretty, unique circumstances to where you would want that for your seller client, because if things go south, essentially the eviction process has to play out if the buyer is uncooperative. So would not really want to endorse the pre-possession opportunity if you are the list agent. If you're on the buy side and you can negotiate keys before closing, more power to you, then you'd want to be filling out that form. So what's probably more common here, and the change that shows up here, it would be the post-closing possession agreement. This is an existing document, so I would think that if you have been doing transactions, it wouldn't be foreign to you in the fact that it basically spells out whose responsibilities are what, if the seller is going to retain possession after closing. So if we need to go through that, we can, but that form is unchanged. It's just the language here is now pushing you to use that essentially every time the possession is not going to occur at closing. Are there any questions about that? Okay, so this is interesting, and I had to read it a couple of times. And I think we're covered here because of what we just previously discussed. But before, it said that the seller had to maintain maintenance of the property until possession is delivered to buyer. Now it's saying that the seller is responsible for maintaining the property until closing, which then would go back to the post-closing possession agreement that spells out the responsibilities of the seller. So I think really we're going to be covered there in regards to that change. I don't necessarily agree with it, but that's what it reads now. So I think it's just, again, important that we do use the post-closing possession agreement, which is IAR number 67. And part of that body of it, section B of that, is seller obligations for condition of property, maintenance, delivery of possession. So it basically spells out in a little bit more detail what those responsibilities are. So it's no longer at possession, it's at closing, but then it kind of goes back and contradicts itself a little bit with the addendum post closing. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so basically they took out the entire paragraph J of the purchase agreement and moved it to the leased property addendum, which is a new form, which is number 74. And the leased property addendum, basically just says that, this situation is if there is an existing lease and it is tenant occupied, that's where this comes into play. So you're representing an investor client, and the tenant is going to remain, there basically needs to be, the lease would kind of be assignable to the new owner. So they've taken out an entire paragraph of the purchase agreement, and they have moved it over to Form 74, which is the leased property addendum to purchase agreement. It says that the property is subject to an enforceable lease between seller and tenant. Such lease will be provided to the buyer within X days of acceptance of this agreement. If the buyer does not make a written response to the lease within certain days after receipt, the lease is deemed acceptable, so on and so forth. Next slide.
Interestingly, the purchase agreement literally goes from line 142 to line 150.
Yeah. Well, yeah, are you looking, yeah, let me see.
On the purchase.
Yeah, so
They took it out and then it just skipped.
Yeah.
They did change the.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's, well, it goes 140, 142, and 150.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Ghost.
Yeah.
okay. So this is fairly straightforward, but it just gives us a little bit more language in regards to the building use. So buyer's intended use for the property is going to be single family owner occupied or rental, long or short term or whatever. And so it just kind of spells out a little bit in more detail, kind of what that looks like. So if you are representing a buyer and their intention is for this to be a short-term rental, you check the appropriate box. You're going to declare if this is going to be contingent or non-contingent on the satisfaction of the following building or use. I don't think you really need to put anything here if you said, hey, it's going to be a rental. And if you're on the buy side, I think you probably want to be contingent. It also speaks to the rental cap situation. So if you were representing a buyer in a community that has introduced rental caps, then this is just kind of giving you a little bit more of a straightforward opportunity to include it as a term of the purchase agreement that they could get out during the diligence periods to investigate whether any building use exists or limitations exist. And then if you do not execute your buyer's notice of termination, it's deemed accepted, and then you could no longer, really point to that as a term of your purchase agreement. So because they've mentioned it here, there is now a new notice of termination. So there's now one for a seller and now there's one for a buyer. Next slide, please.
I think this is a really good section though.
Let's go back, Kevin. Tell me more.
That's a lot of clarity.
Yeah. So again, if you're working with investors, if you're working with clients that this comes into play, it does just kind of make it a little bit more straightforward. And I would say it's subjective on, okay, hey, the buyer found out XYZ, pretty much get out of jail free card. I don't think there's probably going to be a whole lot that you could be like, oh, we don't think that's a good enough reason. I mean, you can squabble about it, but probably better just move on and sell to someone who actually wants to buy it. Right?
If you're a buyer in this situation and you have an investor that's looking in an area that has rental caps, would you suggest checking both those boxes or just the third box? Because in the second box, you're outlining that it is contingent that they can use it as a rental. And then the third box you're checking in as if there is
Yeah, I would check every box that you think is applicable.
Okay.
Next slide. Okay, the reason here was to provide more detailed coverage on how a buyer's building use limitation will be handled. And then for whatever reason, they always kind of make a note here that the unimproved property purchase agreement more or less mirrors, the improved property purchase agreement when applicable. Okay, this is super straightforward. They're just adding USDA to the types of possible financing that, if you waive an inspection, it doesn't mean that the buyer has relinquished their ability to have any lender or financing required inspections, and so they've added USDA along with FHA and VA. Next slide. Okay, so the buyer's inspection response, the additional time shall begin at the end of the initial inspection period. So they did this to clarify how to determine deadlines. So thank you for doing that. Again, this is the opportunity that if you have a certain number of days that you've put in the purchase agreement, you can automatically trigger those. And those days would start to accrue at the end of the initial inspection period. Okay, so first rights, we love a good first right, don't we? Which they've made it come back a little bit. And it's essentially this is to clarify which purchase agreement is being addressed and to add other type of contingency agreement. So the subsequent purchase agreement referred to here, accepted by seller of property one, may or may not be subject to a first right, may not be subject to a limited purchase contingency. The result, the subsequent purchase agreement accepted by seller of property one may or may not be subject to a first right, may or may not be subject to a limited purchase contingency. So it's its own beast. If you have questions, we'll go through it on the first right, but it doesn't materially change how those happen. They've just edited the form. Next. So if the buyer removes the contingency after accepting a purchase agreement on property number two, this transaction concerning property one shall proceed according to the terms of the purchase agreement and shall be closed within the time limit specified. Purchase agreement buyer accepts on property two may or may not be subject to a first right contingency, may or may not be subject to a limited purchase contingency. With the exception of earnest money, all remaining time conditions in the PA shall begin to run upon removal of the contingency. So the reason I did this is to allow the parties to negotiate whether the buyer may accept the contingency offer on their property. Again, not really in the best interest of your seller to stack those down the line. So again, nothing materially changes on how we're working with first rights. And if you find yourself in that situation, happy to talk through that. Next slide. Okay, so mentioned both of these here previously. The leased property addendum is the new one, so 74. They're numbered in chronological order of whatever it may be. So that is the section that they took out and made its own addendum. And then I referenced this. The buyer's notice of termination is now IAR 75. It's to be used when the buyer is in situations identified within specific forms when buyer may terminate the purchase agreement without a mutual release. And then this is existing. The notice of termination form number 64 has been renamed to the seller's notice of termination. So 64 was notice of terminations. Now that is sellers, and 75 buyers. Buyers notice of termination. This is interesting here. So buyer has not received a mutual release from seller's primary purchase agreement. Buyer may terminate as indicated in the buyer's backup offer. And this is an interesting one here. An inspection has revealed a previously undisclosed defect, and buyer is within the time limit provided in the as an addendum to terminate. So, I don't think that's a great form, but it is what it is. So essentially, if both parties agree to the as-is addendum and the buyer says, hey, part of our inspection, we have an undisclosed defect, we're out. Now you can just send this buyer notice of termination, and in theory, it's over. It's a one-sided document, so there's buyer signature only, just like on the seller one. The seller only has their signature box on IAR 64. So I guess I'm surprised that on this buyer notice of termination, that if we went back to like to the buyer due diligence section, I guess I was expecting to see that there'd be an option to say, hey, rental cap, etc. But I'm not seeing that here. So probably not one that you're gonna have to use a lot, but these are the two new forms. Next slide, please.
Sorry.
Okay, so that is the conclusion of the changes. Are there any questions regarding the IAR docs? James?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're already uploaded.
Oh, yeah. Yep, they are available to you. At the bottom, they should say 2026. If you get something that is not a 2026 form, it's still valid. It's just not the most up-to-date version. So, these are basically provided to us as a courtesy as part of our dues, our membership from the Indiana Association of Realtors, but it doesn't make this the rule of law or whatever it may be. It's just the kind of common language that we have, as agents, decided that this is the best way for us to transact and communicate. But it doesn't mean if you get something else that it's like less accurate or better or worse. It's just different. And so that's just kind of, okay, I'm not an attorney. You're looking at something that's not what you're normally working with, but it doesn't make, like, these documents are no different than any other legal document that would trade hands between a buyer and seller. Again, these are just provided by the Indiana Association of Realtors, who feel as though this is the best way to go about it, or giving us an opportunity to make it easier to transact. So if you get one that's 2025, you're agreeing to the terms that are within that document like you would any other. Okay. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. I do want to mention, obviously, we've sent out the revised independent contractor agreement. I understand that the commission section is not entirely accurate. I'm not exactly sure how that particular portion got into the revised independent contractor agreement. So market center leadership, we're gonna pull that out. We're gonna make sure that that it's accurate. So right now, I would say you're operating as normal. You're going to agree on a commission percentage with your seller, and then the buyer broker compensation is going to be negotiated between buyer and seller within the terms of the purchase agreement. So there's really no change from the top down. So continue to transact like you have. At the brokerage level, we do have the ability to say, hey, we want you to do X, Y, Z. So there's no exposure or anything in that regard, because at our brokerage level, we can decide on what we want to do with commission. And currently, you still have the ability to negotiate your commission with the seller directly, and then the seller and buyer will negotiate anything on buyer broker compensation within the terms of the purchase agreement. So just continue to transact like you have been. We encourage you to earn your commission and really make what you deserve, because I know everyone really works hard and does a great job for their clients. And we'll just leave it at that for now. Cool. All right.
Are you done?
Yeah.
I just want to say, since we have a captive audience, if you want to see the gym, have interest in joining the gym, it's in this building. You can look through the glass door and see some of it. I think they even have showers. I think it's $15 a month. And if you look at the weekly email on Sunday, there's information about that at the very bottom. And then if you've never been to our other building, we have a cafe on the first floor and like a work area above us as well, like a workspace on the third floor. So check it out.
Does the gym have a posing room?
Posing room?
I can't guarantee.
No, but we all have the headshot event. On the right corner.
Yes.
So hit the gym and then come to our headshot event.
Headshots are free. It'll be at, that's funny, good one. At Summit Title, and look at your weekly email on Sunday for signups for that.
Okay, so yeah, unless anyone has any other questions, we're gonna call it. We'd really encourage you to be thoughtful in the surveys if you haven't done that, because we wanna make sure that we're providing you good content, on a weekly basis or whatever we decide to do. So thanks everybody, and let's make it a great year.
Thanks, Doug. Thank you for joining online. Make sure to answer those questions, please.
Like,